Hey guys, welcome on Social, the show that talks about everything that has to do with live video production in the social realm. I'm your host, Stephen Haywood, and today we're joined by Marty McPadden from PodJam.tv. Welcome, sir. I feel like we
How
just did
how
this.
are you? Deja vu, right? Hello, how are you? How you doing, Steven? How you doing today?
So we had a little bit of an issue. We've been working with Jeff Fitzgerald. As you notice, he's absent right now. He had a bit of technical difficulty. So when I leaned over to grab my phone, I accidentally hit the mute button on the overall volume, which can happen. So we didn't want you guys to miss anything, and we figured we're 3 minutes into it. We're going to restart it, get into it, and start talking about the why you would want to do a live show. We had a viewer in one of the forums that are on Facebook, Wirecast user group, write, I want to start a live show, but I don't know what to do. And I know, Marty, you put together a list of topics that you thought would be helpful for this individual. And one of the things that you note here is passion for topic is everything. I mean, I mean, you got a bunch of key things, but I'm going to have you elaborate a little bit on that and make sure you guys stick around. We have a gentleman, Connor, who sent in a video and of his setup, basically show what he's doing. A really high end production. He does travel for a living. He runs, I guess, a travel agency, and what they do is they use Wirecast to show a lot of different things. And Marty, it was really highly produced, very high end. So we're going to show that later on, and we want to encourage you guys to send in either your critique, if you want us to critique your setup, or maybe you want to kind of better your setup. Send that in, and myself, Jeff, and Marty will take a look at it and see. If not, if you just want to show it off, it doesn't even have to be Wirecast
Yep.
specific. Send it in. We want to see it. So, Marty,
Absolutely, and just to add on to that a little bit, it's really about the community here too. So the community can chime in. So this today is really kind of showing off the setup here, and what I like about this today's video, and we'll show it later, is combining of tools as well. So be on the lookout for that. It's a great example of Wirecast, but he also combines a couple other things into that to really kind of make the most of the setup, and it's a very high end, very interesting setup. He does a really nice job with the layers in Wirecast, and it's a really good use case of how to really put it to good use. And uh, not only that, but again, for the folks, maybe you maybe have an issue, maybe you can't get your green screen right, or whatever happen, audio, whatever happens to be. Take that video 2 or 3 minutes, narrate it, show us what you're doing, and we'll kind of diagnose it, live here. So, I mean, hopefully we'll get more of those, but today's video is really good. I really like it. I'm
you,
looking
you know
forward to
what
seeing it.
you know what the problem is today, I think, because we're used to doing the
Mhm.
show on Thursday, so we're a day
Yeah.
early and a dollar short.
That's
So
right.
I think that's part of. And normally I never put my arm down on that mute button. So, but it is what it is, and we're here.
Yep.
So let's kind of dive into this. How do you know what you should do a show on? What is something? What are some of the tips that you can give folks out there that want to do a live show?
Yeah, and I would say number 1 is you gotta be truly interested in the topic, right? And why do I say that? Well, I see a lot of folks, I think that see maybe what Steve and I are doing, and a lot of people are very interested in the kind of the tech and the presentation, which is very important, the production, and also interested in obviously getting viewers. If you're doing something on YouTube or Facebook, you want to build an audience, and especially if you have any plans or any hopes to do it as a business and maybe a profit making business based on your content, maybe based on advertising. You need viewers, you need people to watch it, you need analytics. And some people will say, well, what's going to resonate with people? What's the hot topic? And I think that's a huge mistake, right? Because I've made the mistake myself. When I first started a blog back 15 years ago, I started on a topic that I thought was kind of a hot topic, not necessarily something I was interested in, and I lost interest very, very quickly because I realized, oh, it became a drudgery and I didn't really want to do it. Versus, and I'll put him out as an example. Hopefully, sometime we'll have him on the show. Mark Rogers, a friend of mine, who started a YouTube channel. Very much he's into college football. That's his passion. And he had no knowledge of YouTube or video production. He knew college football, and he came to me and said, Marty, can you help me? What do you recommend? I have no knowledge. How would you get? I asked him a couple questions. One, obviously, I knew he was passionate. That was question number one. Are you really passionate about the topic that you're going to cover? Is it something that you would normally talk about? And kind of one B to that is it something you would talk about even if there was no such thing as social networking or social video at all? Would you still be talking about it, watching it? In his case, he'd be watching Saturday games. He'd be watching college football. He knows all the scores. He's like, I call him the Rain Man of college football. He knows
He
everything. It's
does.
ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And number 3, or 2 is, "Would you do it for free?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Of course, I'm doing it already," right? I mean, I don't care. I would wanna talk to people, whatever. I think those are the questions you need to ask yourself, uh,
Because there's an
and to get
investment.
sta Yeah, exactly, investment in time, right?
There's
And in
time
his
and
case
and even a little bit of gear, a little bit.
Exactly. In his case, he had no social presence whatsoever. I don't think he
Mm.
had a Twitter account,
Oh,
or I think he may have had a Facebook account, but again, it was just family and friends.
right.
No YouTube account at all. No, he started from 0. So he's been at it now for about 8 years, and he just crossed, I think he's getting near, he might have just crossed 13,000 subscribers. And it's not like it I think it took him like 7 years to get maybe even maybe like 7 years to get like his first 1,000 subscribers. And then
Wow.
it's been all like, it started like this, it went right along the thing, and then all of a sudden it started going like this, but only after many years because he didn't have any presence. And he was very consistent, and he started out, but the bottom line is he's very passionate about the topic, and he over time, people saw he was consistent. Oh, this guy knows what he's eh, year after year after year, and now he's seeing success. So if you're looking to start a live show, you really got to examine and really got to think about, are you really interested in the topic?
Yep. Yep. And
You
you
know,
have to stick with it because the people that are watching you, they're wanting to see, is this just going to be a fly by night? I mean, even us, we've been kind of shifting the show around. Normally it's a Thursday, right? We've been shifting it around because of, to make sure that we can still put out a show every week, even though, vacations creep in or maybe travel or these types of things. We're doing this for consistency and building it. And this is a show both you and I know I could speak for Jeff, even though he's not here, we're very passionate about talking about live video
yeah,
professionally on social platforms and engaging and helping other people. So when Telestream approached us about doing this, I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer, man. This is right up our alley. This is what we love to do. This is what we love to talk about. And like you said, we asked ourselves those questions. Would we do this for free? Yes, we
yeah.
we would we would do the show for free on our
Yeah.
own channels. We've done it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, even your story, Stephen, when you started with Broadcast Now and when you first started streaming on the internet, you started with a webcam, and nothing. And then thing with you is you just were on all the time,
right.
and you're incredibly passionate about it, and you learned as you went, and you kind of like people kind of came along with your journey, and you're kind of at the beginning forefronts of streaming, really, and you built this large audience because the passion showed through.
Yeah.
In fact, I should put this in the show notes, or I should say I talk about the Disney niche a lot. Walt Disney. I used to work for the company. I talk as far as the YouTube niche. There's a guy I discovered, another guy, Michael K. The guy, I don't know how many subscribers he has. He's been doing it for a while. He just moved down to Florida, but if you come across his channel, the guy just oozes authenticity and enthusiasm, right? And he brings people along. His passion is Disney parks, and he's just incredibly passionate about it. And it's about bringing people along with him, similar to the other people, the Resort TV One that does the live streaming. And that's what you want to see, where you have so much passion for it that you bring people along with you. And he would, I guarantee, he'd be in that park whether there was live streaming or not. He's just sharing his love of Disney, and that's when you become successful. And you never get the sense that people send him gift cards and all that. That's a result of, right.
Yeah.
I can't overemphasize how important that is. One of the other questions that come up is, people looking, how do you decide on a topic, and maybe some questions to ask yourself. And I kind of wrote down some questions beforehand. If you're having difficulty deciding what topic do you want to do it, ask yourself these questions. Maybe a topic of, to have fun. What do you have fun with? maybe a topic around that. To share your passion about something that interests you, great topic to do live streaming shows. You know, talk about a topic that you feel no one else is talking about. Maybe there's a something that you're interested in, but you see that, oh man, nobody's really talking about this. And here's an opportunity to kind of share my passion about it and bring education to somebody or bring education to an audience. And the last one is, maybe it's to promote your or build a business or promote your business. Maybe say you have a business of landscaping and you want to demonstrate, landscaping tips and, how good you are at it. You could do videos about, how to plant flower beds or how to do, even lawn edging or planting a lawn or feeding a lawn. I've seen that niche even, where you have landscapers and it's a great opportunity to build your business, promote and also promote your thought leadership about a topic. If you're demonstrating that you know what you're talking about, then chances are either you're sharing stuff that people want to do on their own, you got the do it yourselfers, and you're helping them out, but also you're demonstrating your knowledge for people that may want to hire you. But you have to demonstrate that. So those are some questions I would ask if you're looking for a topic.
And here's something, I mean, I know I've spoken about it on previous shows and where I talked about that the passion for the outdoors, right? And I built that brand and I wanted to do a show about it. And most of it is more pre-recorded than it is live shows, but we do have the ability to do it. But one of the things I recently got into, and again, answering your questions, I started building a home arcade, right? I have a home arcade set up. I started collecting all kinds of retro gaming systems. So the other side of the studio, which you guys haven't seen, is filled with retro arcade systems, even ones that I built with a Raspberry Pi. And I started getting into all this. Well, I'm not a gamer. I just, again, just having fun, doing some stuff with my kids. Well, I've gotten a lot of attention from the arcade world where now they want to send me units to review and they want to show, they want me to be a influencer for the brand because of the type of quality of video that I'm doing with video with live streams and also with video. And the question you asked, Marty, was, would you do this? Do you do this to have fun? Yeah, I do it to have fun. Would you do this if for free? Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for free. I've been buying this stuff on my own. So I think it's interesting. Those questions are exactly the questions that I asked myself going into that because I didn't have any interest in making a show about it or doing anything like that. It just happened. So I think what you're saying too is, take your passions that you're passionate about and apply it to doing a show and try to do it in a way that nobody else is doing it. That I think is what's going to make you more of a viable source. Maybe you're more personable, maybe you answer a lot more questions. I mean, that's a good starting point, right?
Yeah, you raise a really good point with that, right? So one of my things I'm interested, I like Apple products. That's one of my things, along with all this technology, right? So I tend to, if I'm gonna watch, content, I tend to watch a lot of Apple bloggers and Apple content. And you notice I said a lot of it, right? I don't watch just one guy or one person. I watch multitudes, because everyone has a little different take, a little different spin. And Stephen, you hit the nail on the head as far as when you take a topic, you might have other people, you probably have a million other people in that same niche, right? But there's only one you, right? So strive for something that maybe a little different spin or something about your unique personality you can bring to it. And I see, especially on YouTube, I see the most successful people, the
Mhm.
ones that have the most committed following, are the ones that have that certain little spark, little difference, little unique thing that they have,
Mhm.
right? And don't think that you have to mold yourself to fit an audience. The audience will come find you, and I think that's really important. Be yourself. Find that little twist, that little spin. My wife Misty, used to blog for a couple large sites, would always say that where she would be covering these topics, and they'd be topics that are very popular, but she'd always say, "Put your little spin on it." And bring a little something extra, bring us a little something different to it. And that same thing with video or live video, and even what you're doing, Stephen, with the arcade. It's a passion of yours. The attention that you're getting is a result of that passion. Not that you went out there and said, oh, I'm going to get 1 million followers. Oh,
Right.
I'm going to have this strategy or whatever. No, just share it out there. And if it's something worthwhile, something that, and people can pick up on the authenticity, you can't fake it, and when I bring up Michael Kay, the Disney niche,
Hmm.
if you watch him, he is very, you could tell he just was really authentic and it just shows through.
Well, that was
So,
that was something that you and I talked about even off air. I said, I just did this video. Remember, I did the video review of the one arcade cabinet, and
yep.
it wasn't really highly produced. I even said that to you. I was like, "Ah, I
Mhm.
kind of just threw it together. That thing had almost 2,000 views in a couple days, and I
Right,
was like, holy smokes! So,
right,
like you said, authenticity shined through, and obviously people valued my opinion as opposed to just going on there and putting on a show because some company's paying you to say certain things about it, right?
right. Absolutely. I can't overemphasize that enough. And what you're saying is like doesn't have to be highly polished. In fact, when you start out, if you're just starting out and you're getting into this, we talked about this in past shows. Your first product is probably not going to be where you want it to be, longer term.
Right.
And even your story is a great example of this. You started out very simple. You learned along the way, but you always kept pushing the envelope. You kept making those steps. But the common denominator is you were very passionate about what you're doing. So you were very interested in learning about live streaming. So you put a lot of hours into it, and then you kind of adapted and improved your production, your presentation. You learned what you're doing. You added things as you went along. That all comes with practice, and you get better and better by doing it. But that authenticity is either there or not there, and it all starts with passion for the topic, and you can't fake that. Unless you're a
Yeah.
really good actor or actress, I mean, it's very difficult to fake that. So you're much better, and you'll find that audience. You think it's too niche? No. And I told Mark this. Mark first started doing sports, he was kind of general sports, and we had a conversation a couple years in, and he wasn't really gaining the traction that he wanted to gain. I said, Mark, really, what you're really passionate about is college football, right? Well, niche down to that. Talk about that. You're doing that anyways. And once he made that change and he really zeroed in on his true passion, which is college football, man, I mean, he started gaining an audience. I remember when he has guests come on, guest bloggers. I remember in the beginning, he would have to do an outreach and nobody knew who he was. Now he's got people coming to him and he doesn't do any outreach. He has so many people he doesn't know what to do. He can't even go on live enough. In fact, he does these live streams he has a schedule, but he can go on and just go on live. He's at that stage now, and he'll just get a couple hundred people come in and be on with him. And I think I hear a visitor
Yeah,
maybe coming in.
we have a gentleman that decided to join. He yeah, we managed to get everything situated and get him on here. We got Mr. Jeffrey Fitzgerald joining us here.
Hey, I just want to let you know I'm early for next week.
You know what? Better late than never. I'm sure you've been kind of listening to the show as you were trying to get that going. What do you want to add to this as well before we get into showing the video of the what Connor sent in? What are some of the things that you like to do? I know you have some really unique shows that you actually do yourself.
Well, I think that's the critical key, right, Steve? I mean, the whole idea here is that you should be doing something you have a passion for. I've got my mic carefully placed here, but I've got my fire media shirt on. I love the fire rescue community, and I do marketing and strategic vision for them. I think that love football. I work with a football league that plays with no pads or helmets, and do some of their studio stuff. I think that the bigger takeaway with all of it is to be yourself through your show and not try to become something. Marty, you probably can relate to this. We spent what 20 or 30 years learning how to be completely plastic, and you're the guy in front of the camera, and now today people want to see that personality, and so there's a real opportunity for people to be something that maybe they've never been, through the things that they love, whether it's music or art or anything else.
Yeah. Um, Marty, what's your take on that? And Jeff, you have a little bit of distortion in your mic or something. It was like getting
Okay.
really fuzzy on that. So, Marty?
Yeah, I think Jeff hits on some key points there. Kind of what we were discussing is really be yourself, unless you're putting on a dramatic performance. Say, so maybe you're doing a show where it's like a play, and maybe it's a play or drama or whatever. It's fictional, and you're playing a part. That's something different. But if you're doing maybe a talk show or something about a particular topic, educational topic or whatever, I think it's incredibly important to be yourself. We've talked about this in previous shows where Steve and I met in person, and we knew exactly who we were because there was no difference between what we have when we're doing street live video and what we're doing in person. And I think that shows through. Most of us are not good actors, so we can't play the part. And I see this with people where they try to play a part, and I think it's a huge mistake, and it comes through. Your authenticity is very hard to hide. It comes through. So you might as well just go with it, and you will attract the right audience for that. If you don't think that, oh man, do I have to play a certain part to attract an audience? The answer is no. You will attract the right audience for you just by being you and talking authentically about the topic that you're passionate about.
So
Yeah, that's so true, Steve. I just want to add to that, though. There are so many
it's-
people and so many Facebook.
Jeff, it's really
Okay.
bad now. It's sorry.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get that addressed here real quick. But let's do this. Let's cut to the video of Connor that sent it in, so you guys can see his setup and see what he's doing.
What's up on social? My name is Connor Davis, and I'm going to take you through mainstream media's next travel stream, Wirecast Workflow Walkthrough. This show's got a lot going on, from live talent to up-to-date tickers, headlines, and news content.
Hong Kong protesters have a new tactic, broadcasting their grievances directly to tourists from mainland China. Recently, marches moved to Kowloon.
So, as with all Wirecast files, we've got our project split into 5 buses. My first bus is responsible for hold graphics and intros, any element that will be on the top and never covered. My second bus is my wrapper, which is just my ticker plus talent. My third layer is where the content resides, from news packages to top tweets to our mid-show funnies. Our fourth layer stores background images, while the fifth handles all of the audio. The talent from this show perform from home and send a live signal via IPDTL. We take that feed through a capture card and configure it to our talent box and the audio tracks. The ticker comes to us through custom RSS feeds running through Nemo Live via HDMI into another capture card. This data is real-time and always available on Next's 24/7 stream. Our stories come from a Google Slides doc, where videos, talking points, and all other data come together to create the content of the show. The audio is a fun little technical Wirecast flow. We were running out of buses when first creating the show, so we couldn't just put the mic on one bus and the music on another. So, in response, we combined the two. This is a scripted show, so we know what's coming. So, for the travel tunes, which we start with the icon Travel Tunes, which is just the host mic and a music track. Then we transition to TT No Mic, which means Travel Tunes with no microphone, which is the same music track but this time with no host mic. You'll notice that the music track will continue playing even though we executed a new cell. That's because we're playing the exact same audio file, and Wirecast performs accordingly. And when it all comes together, it looks something like this.
I'm looking forward to that discounted air taxi service here in Chicago. Workers are taking shorter and shorter vacations, according to some data. This week in Travel Tunes, we'll look at what's contributing to the ever-shrinking vacation. American Express Global Business Travel recently bolstered its presence in Europe while gaining a key foothold in Germany.
And that's about it. Thank you so much for having us on this week, Stephen. And I'm Connor with Mainstream Media Chicago. Thanks for having us.
From Chicago, the crossroads of the world's largest travel market, you're watching the Next Travel Stream. Streaming live news, data, and insights for the travel professionals who make the world move.
What that was like stupendous, that video. I saw that, Marty. I watched it a couple times actually, prior to the show, and they put this together. Thank you guys so much for sending that in and being a part of on social. This is what we're looking for, guys. This is what we want to see. Or if you have questions, send that kind of stuff in. But did you see the professionalism of that stream and what they're doing?
Yes.
And they're using Wirecast.
I loved how they use all 5 layers of Wirecast of the timeline, and it was great because a lot of people, I think, when with Wirecast is they have difficulty organizing their timeline, because in Wirecast you have the 5 layers and it's unique, and there's other software that's arranged differently. The workflow is different, but he's really using it to maximum effect, where you can see the organization. He has on the top layer, he has the overlays, and on the bottom layer he has all his audio underneath, and there's a purpose to each shot. He creates each shot separately. There's a script. He knows exactly where he's going. There's an organization. In fact, he's combines other tools. It's just a real, when you sent that to me, Steve, and we saw that, that's just a great use case of being able to use software like that. In this case, it's Wirecast, to its full potential, and what can be done with that. I mean, that's a pretty advanced setup. So if you're just starting out, it's
It looked
probably
like
not something you're gonna
CNN.
do out of the
I mean,
box.
it was
Exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. So if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to be at that level right away, but that's what's possible with software, and in this case, Wirecast, but that's what's possible today. And yeah, great job. And that's, what's great about independent media and what you can do and what you can broadcast out today with equipment. And again, we've talked about this before. You don't need millions of dollars to do this stuff. And if you have an idea and a computer and a little bit of software, you can do a TV show. It's fantastic.
That's why I said they're using Wirecast. So you can start at $249 all the way up to
Yep.
$600-700 for Wirecast Pro. So you can get that type of quality, the quality we're producing, the quality they're producing for that little bit of money. So thanks again, guys, for sending that in. That was awesome. So on that note, I think I'm just gonna say, Jeff, unfortunately, he had to drop off. He had, as you guys heard, he had some technical difficulties with the audio. So he's going to look into that, but he sends his regards. He'll be back hopefully next week. I don't know if he's traveling. I don't remember. Did he say he was traveling next week? But he might be back next week.
You never know. You never know.
So he's definitely if he's not traveling, he'll be back. If not, we'll see him in a week or two. So, but guys, we really appreciate everybody coming out and enjoying the show here with us. And Marty, again, for sticking it out. Unfortunately, it's just been one of those days today. But the show being Wednesday kind of just has me out of my game a little bit.
Next week we're back to normal time, right? Normal Thursday next week. Yeah.
So everybody knows next Thursday at 2 Eastern we'll be back, and then the following week, and we'll announce it next week. Following week it'll be on a Tuesday, so there's gonna be a short gap between the shows because again I'm on vacation. So keep that in mind. Get those videos sent in. We want to see them. Send them to StephenH@telestream.net. If for some reason that's not working, you can upload the video to Dropbox, which send me the link anyways through an email rather than the video. You can also hit me up on Facebook or Twitter or any of those places. Just look for The Tech Buzz and send me a private message, a DM, or just email me and say, hey, I sent you. Did you get it? Just so we know, because sometimes they don't always come through, and we really want to showcase, what you guys are doing out there in the broadcast world and give other people some, I hate to say it like this, Marty, but giving people ideas, but it really is. It gives people ideas of what's possible and what you can do, in professional live streaming. So, guys, you can pretty much find us anywhere. We're out there on Roku. We're on Fire TV. We are on Get Vocal, the platform. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, all the Tech Buzz different destinations. We are pretty much YouTube. You name it. Go make sure you like the Telestream Facebook page. for Wirecast, as well as LinkedIn, as well as the YouTube channel, because that's where you're going to find all these great videos and shows. And did I miss anything, Marty? Am I missing anything?
I think you covered it. I covered it really well.
You guys can find out more about Marty. Head on over to podjam.tv. Again, Marty, thank you so much for being here and bearing with everything that happened today.
And I will say this: if you go to podjam.tv, it's a one-page website, so I haven't had time to really build it up. But we are going to build that out and give you a little bit more content as far as what I do when I'm not on the show. I have a full-time production business, so we just got to get it out there. But it's been kind of a busy time. So, but find me anywhere, Marty McPadden, on all the social networks. So.
So there you have it, folks. We'll see you next week on Thursday for more of On Social. It'll be episode number 13. Get your topics in. What do you want us to talk about? Go over to the Wirecast users group on Facebook. Leave a comment of what you want us to talk about on the next upcoming shows. We've got some topics headed into it, but we want to hear from you. So, guys, we appreciate everybody coming out here, and we'll see you.